If you take a look at and play any adventure game, they will provide you with lore, expansive exploration, and challenging dungeons. Hytale has no shortage of each of them as they combine a scope of a sandbox with the depth of a roleplay game. Upon your adventure around Orbis or any other planet, you will come across many different type of dungeons. Today everyone, I'm going to talk to you all about dungeons in Hytale. If you guys want to see more Hytale content from me, then go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Around 80% of you guys are not subscribed. Subscribing is free, and if you don't like my content, you can easily unsubscribe later. Alright guys, with all that being said, my name is CanadianFlash, and enjoy the video. Hey everybody, what's going on? CanadianFlash here guys, and today everybody, I'm talking about dungeons in Hytale. I actually got this idea from Frenziest, his latest video where he discusses a bunch of different Hytale concept arts. He briefly goes over the Temple of Gaia dungeon, and it sparked my interest for this video. So guys, go check out his channel and the video. I'll leave a link in the description. Also, the video card will be in the top right of the screen, so you can click that out, go give him some support, go hit that subscribe button for him, go like the video, tell him I say hi. Alright everybody, so that was quite a long intro, so let's go into dungeons now. So there are actually quite a few dungeons in Hytale that are not really talked about. And I want to clarify that every pre-built structure, like a prefab, just the ones I talked about in one of my more recent videos, those classify as dungeons as well. And if I were to talk about every single one, we'd be here for a couple hours pretty much, because there's a lot of them. There's like a couple thousand. So I don't want to I want to say that all those prefabs that you can see, just random like zone 1 ones or zone 2 or zone 3 ones, those are considered dungeons, but I'm not going to be talking about them in this video. If you want to know more about them, go check the prefabs video. The first thing we got was this dungeon entrance concept art, and there's a lot to take from this image, so I'm going to pull it up right now and talk about it. So I did talk about this image back in the day, but now that we have more like knowledge of the lore pretty much in Hytale and more about other things, I want to briefly go over it again. So the first image on this is like the main inspiration. It has a little void spawn, nothing really too much to say about that. Then there's also a zone 01-zone 1 entrance, so it's what it looks like probably in zone 1, I would assume. There's also O2 door openings and O3 portal right underground. I'm not sure if this means O2 for zone 2 and O3 for zone 3, or if they're just different type of ways that you can enter into these type of dungeons. We're not really too sure. Also, it says entrance is not composed of two main materials. One does not change with the zones. One is zone specific. Example. So as you can see in this image, there are two of them. There is like a lighter sand and a darker sand. And I assume maybe I don't know, maybe they're both zone 2, but who knows, maybe they could be like different ones. Maybe the lighter sand could be like zone 1, darker sand could be zone 2, who knows, not really too sure. Now we're going to get into the two most like interesting parts of this concept art right here, and it says lanterns. The lanterns on the side of the doors are orange until the player completes the challenge inside. So obviously this has probably helped you once you're exploring, so you know that you obviously completed the dungeon. So next is the door, and it says features engraved mortise, a sword, and an orange diamond. I guess it only opens once the player first time arrives, and then stays open. So both these two things have this like orange thing. They have the orange little light, and then there's also an orange diamond. And they said the light or the lantern will change colors once the challenge is complete. So I also believe that the orange little diamond on the door will probably change colors once the challenge is complete. I wouldn't be too surprised if they turned to green or like a yellow, not a yellow, a green or like maybe a blue to signify that they're complete. So they're kind of like complete opposite colors. So I wouldn't be surprised when that happens, and that's what I think is going to happen with these, but who knows. Alright, so the next one is a concept art for more dungeon entrances, but this one seems to have a more elemental feel about it. A lot of people have talked about this one in the past, so I'm not going to go into like full detail about them, but what I believe these are, I think there's 6 of them here, so I believe that there's one for each element. And you can obviously see which one's the void and which one's fire, the 2 ones on the right side. But then there's these 3 other ones. The ice one we can assume is probably going to be zone 3. We have this like sandish one over here, and I believe that one's to be zone 2. We have this one in like a swamp, and we know the swamps are in zone 1, so I believe that one's to be zone 1. And this one's kind of a mystery. It's like the floating islands, and a lot of people believe this to be like zone 2 as well, because it kind of looks like the wind symbol on top of the floating island. And also a lot of people believe that it is lightning in zone 5, and people believe that zone 5 is going to be like the floating islands area, and I agree with this one kind of as well. I have made it public in the past that I don't think that Zone 5 has floating islands, but now that I look at it more, I do think maybe Zone 5 does have floating islands, considering where is lightning? Lightning is in the sky, and these are floating islands, so this could potentially be Zone 5. Next, we have Dungeons and Towers concept art. We know very little about this one as well, but it's a nice one to have. It's just called Dungeons and Towers, so there's a couple of them in here. I talked about this in my prefabs video as well, so I went more in detail of them. The first one we have, it looks to be a Zone 3 one. I don't really know what else to say. It's kind of cool, kind of random. We have another one, looks to be in Zone 1. There's a little fox hiding in there, which is really cool. We have one that looks to be in Zone 2. Another one looks to be in Zone 1. And these other ones, they kind of look to be in Zone 1, maybe in the swamps. I'm not really too sure. But these also kind of look like they're in that little car pack image, which we think is car pack. It's not confirmed to be car pack, but it has like the same little color scheme as car pack. So it could be on a separate planet, but most likely it's going to be in Zone 1. So now we have like the most famous dungeon that everybody has talked about many times, and this is the Temple of Gaia. We got this huge concept art for the Temple of Gaia, and this has got me speculating ever since they dropped it. It's a really cool one. We have in the top right Gaia, who it better be Gaia. Who else is it going to be? It doesn't look like anybody else. You got who else has like that super pale skin and then like that black hair? So I think it's Gaia. If it's not, then well, that sucks, but I'm pretty sure it's Gaia. We have this Temple of Gaia. You can see in the front there's like a little portal thing that kind of looks like a portal that you probably transport into from like the Temple of Gaia like entrance, which I talked about in my last video as well. And this is a really awesome one. You can see that the elements are kind of dead. Like, it looks kind of broken in here. It looks kind of broken. And you can see the elements just floating around in there. It's super awesome. But what I really want to talk about is this screenshot that HYTALE actually has posted up on their website. And it says, Temple of Gaia, the Garden of Elements. And this one is super awesome. And you can see so much in this one screenshot over here. I absolutely love it. So if you take a look on the right side, or on the left side, you can see this compass with all the elements in there, which looks super awesome, by the way. It's kind of hard to tell which elements are which in this little concept art. So we have the Temple of Gaia and the Garden of Elements, and there is a legend, actually, which is really cool. So it tells you, I believe this is probably going to come up, or maybe you can whip up a map, and it has these little blue markers, and first of all, it says Story Dungeons, and you can see them if you zoom in on different parts of the map. So if you go there, maybe there'll be some aspects of lore if you go into those little areas. We have World Dungeons, which we have a little more on the outside part of the map, which is super cool. And I guess maybe it'll give you some type of like extra loot or something. We also have the Temple of Gaia, which I probably believe will probably be more in the back where you respawn. There is a world gate, which will also probably be kind of in the back. There is a thing called spawn, and you can see that kind of with this little green thing over here. It's a different color than blue, but still a green thing. It's probably where you're going to respawn, or it's pointing downwards, so your spawn's more down in the other way. There's also a point of interest, so maybe if you go into there, you'll find some little more aspects of lore, which is really cool. Also, I've noticed on this, there are like little chests, so probably if you go inside of those little areas, you'll get some different type of loot. And then there is these little icons that have player and friends. So you're this yellow person over here, and you're probably gonna help the green people, which we know are the Quebecs, and it says help the Quebecs defeat the corrupted golem. So I think that a lot of like challenges will be like this, and who knows what's gonna happen. We don't know if you're gonna start off in the Temple of Gaia. This might be your first actual challenge in the game, or you might actually just have it. Maybe this will be super late on. We don't really know. But either way, I think this is really cool. And right now, I'm going to try and see if I can like determine which elements are which. I do believe that this one that's straight up is the lightning element. It would make sense if we use this type of like iconography thing. It kind of looks like the one to the left of it, to the left of it is earth. The one to the right of it is water. And then we have fire beside the earth. And then we have wind beside what is that, water? I think we have wind beside the water. It would make sense. They do look kind of cool. It would be nice if we can get some like actual like close-up image of it, but we don't really have that, so whatever, what can we do? So guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video, if you did enjoy. And if you want to see more content from me, I guess, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. The goal is to reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I really think we could do that. We're we're getting up there. We're growing pretty quick, which is awesome. I like to thank you all so much for the support. It's been awesome lately, and just I don't know what to say. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.